I'm Tara.
And I'm Ashley.
Each week, two movies battle it out in a bracket-style competition to find the ultimate romantic comedy.
This is the Trope Report.
Hey guys!
Welcome back.
This week, we have Pride and Prejudice going up against New in Town.
Pride and Prejudice is a 3 seed with an 87%.
New in Town is a number 4 seed with a 28%.
14 seed.
Oh, what did I say?
4.
Oh, 14. Sorry, ranked that way too high. 14 seed with a 28%.
We also have a special guest this week.
My best friend, Emma. Welcome.
Hey everybody, I'm so excited to be here.
Hey. Okay, Emma is here today because we are in love with Pride and Prejudice.
We are.
We grew up with it. We watched it, what would you say, 1,000 times maybe?
You know, conservatively. Something like that.
Conservatively.
Yeah. Definitely.
Ash?
Last episode I ended with my favorite movie in the world. Yeah, I watch this every week.
I think we just need to get right into it, right? Because Pride and Prejudice, this is going to be a lot to discuss. We're going to try and reel it in, people, that we're not taking up too much of your time. But, yeah. Ash, synopsis? Okay.
Here we go.
She was, like, taking way too long to write this before we started. So, let's hear what this is. Let's give this
funny,
a listen.
I've just lost my mind.
Yeah. We've lost our minds.
It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife. The Bennet family is abuzz when the well-to-do Mr. Bingley and his companion Mr. Darcy come to town.
Ash, you're talking so fast. You're talking as if you are in the book. I love this. Okay, continue.
The 5 single sisters look for love, and Lizzie Bennet, played by Keira Knightley, begins a contemptuous journey full of misunderstanding and longing stares with the stoic Mr. Darcy.
Oh, my
Wow,
God.
bravo.
Whisk me away. Opening scene, Ash.
Okay, I mean, like I said,
she
I have
has
so
pages and pages.
I'm ready.
I'm
ready.
We open on a still shot of a foggy morning. Mist is in the air. It's clinging to the leaves. The sun is rising in the background.
The vibes in this movie
are immaculate. I can
really
feel
are.
this image. It's the most peaceful time lapse of the sun rising, and Lizzie is walking. She's reading. Piano in the background.
The soundtrack, Emma. The soundtrack.
Soundtrack, one of the greatest soundtracks of all time.
We would listen to this on repeat.
I
would study this. It was,
Yep.
Oh my God. Didn't we even try and convince our orchestra teacher to play one of these pieces?
We did, and I
that would have been
think-
great.
I'm pretty sure that we did successfully convince her senior year, very briefly.
And then
Maybe
she
I'm
immediately
just
took
making
away,
this
we
up.
had to play Mozart.
Yeah. We obviously never actually played it, but I think
Yeah.
there was a brief moment where it was maybe going to happen.
The whole soundtrack is
Incredible.
so magical, dreamy.
Ugh, it just
Oh
transports
my
you.
God, yes.
No
yes,
notes. Could not be made better.
Yeah.
Just the cinematography of this movie,
Yeah.
like how this movie is shot with these beautiful still frames where the camera isn't moving, but you see the character going across the frame.
Yeah.
Like it's just the most
Stunning.
beautifully
And
shot movie.
Stunning.
Even when they're not doing the still frame, the way that they move through the house and you see the characters, the way that they film everything,
It
like
switches
later
from
on,
character to character
Yes,
as you
later
move
on we
through
get-
the scene.
we get when everything else fades away and it's just the two of them, like these
Oh,
little
yeah.
things
Yep.
that they
It is
do.
just amazing.
Did this win
Yeah.
awards?
How could it not win an Oscar?
I
At
mean-
least.
We got to look it up because I
I'm
don't
looking
think
it
that
up.
it did. I don't think that it did, and the reason I think that
And
is
that's
because
disturbing.
I know, and I think when it first came out, it like didn't get as good of reviews as we now think of it as today.
That's crazy.
But I feel like it's one of those movies that like has aged so well, and now people look back on it and they're like,
It's just
that
so
was
gorgeous.
Okay, I just looked up
incredible.
Pride and Prejudice awards. And one of the, like, oh, did you mean or whatever common questions, why is 2005 Pride and Prejudice so good? That's what
Right.
comes
Right. I
up.
ask myself that question every day.
Yeah. It didn't really win anything. I mean, nothing.
No.
A best
I
costume
feel
design,
I
but
feel
it's like
like
satellite award. This is not.
romance movies struggle to get awards.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And we're here to change
And
that,
period-
people.
And
We're here to
period
change
dramas.
Yeah.
that.
Period
Yeah.
dramas struggle to get awards.
Nothing beats a period drama.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing. When you
Nothing
just
beats that.
cozy, throw
Yep.
that on. It reminds me of home. It reminds me of sitting in your
Yep.
basement or on your living
Yep.
room area. We watched movies, period pieces all day. Like, we had your
We-
brother making us lattes as we watched period pieces all day. That's crazy.
Aww.
Psychotic. Okay, the anecdote that I was going to say before was there were multiple times where Tara and I would sit down in the morning
Mm-hmm.
and fully watch front to end this
Ugh.
6-hour miniseries.
Yeah.
No breaks. Don't go outside.
No.
No food.
The memories.
That's sweet. I just love a movie day where you just
Ugh.
stay in bed all day and watch TV and movies.
Love a
Nothing
movie
better.
day.
Nothing better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we
Wait, we're
walk
gonna
into the
give
house now.
Newtown. I feel bad. We're gonna give Newtown like 5 minutes.
Good.
I mean,
Perfect.
oh well.
Go ahead.
All right. So we're entering the house. We're starting to meet the characters. We hear the mother telling the father about Mr. Bingley, who's just moved to the area and he's single.
Mhm.
And I mean, we get some great quotes in the scene alone, where she's like,
Oh
"Have
my
you no
God.
compassion for my poor nerves?"
The
He's like,
mom in this.
"Contrary, they've been my constant companion for the past 20 years."
The mom is insane, and I love her.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Insane.
And I hope this episode proves that this movie truly is a rom-com.
It is.
It's
I'm
the
I'm
OG
laughing-
rom-com.
Yes. Yes.
No, because people have come at me for putting this on the bracket.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a common misconception. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And then I feel
Yeah.
like once you like watch the movie, get more familiar with like Jane Austen's
Mhm.
writing,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like most of her stuff is rom-com.
She's the
Yeah.
original rom-com writer.
Agreed.
100%.
Agreed.
She
Shout out to Jane
originated
Austen.
it.
Yeah.
She did. Yeah.
I think because people look at it as so heavy romance,
Yeah.
that they don't realize and yeah, like you said, if you're not familiar with her writing or whatever, it's
Yeah.
I think people just
But this movie
have
is
trouble-
funny, so
yeah. I think people have
Hysterical.
trouble associating comedy with any period piece
yeah.
Yeah.
in general. Okay, so of course the father agrees. Like, okay, we'll all go to Mr. Bingley's dance,
Mhm.
right?
Why can't
He
we
was
do
just
this
messing with
nowadays? Why can't we
Have
have dances
dances,
all the
balls?
time?
Don't get me started.
Great point, Tara.
As I was watching this, that scene pulls up.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately my thought, also because the little choreographed dances.
Yes.
What an incredible
I need to learn
concept.
this.
I need to learn
need
them
to learn
all
it.
immediately.
Even Vampire Diaries has balls. Where are ours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do we have no balls? Bring
justice-
back balls.
justice for
Bring
balls.
back balls.
Justice for balls.
PPP.
Oh my god.
Justice for balls. I love it.
Not enough
PPP,
balls.
Bring back balls. Justice for balls. I'm serious
Oh.
though. Bring them back, people.
I agree.
Oh, okay. And hello, this is how you meet men, people. You just go dance with them and then that's it. It's as simple
Right.
as
So
that.
true. It was so easy to meet men back then. You would go to the ball. Everyone knew who was out on the town, who was open to society. You had a coming out party to be like, I'm
Mhm.
free, I'm single, date me.
Yeah.
I need that.
It's low
Date
stakes. You had
Now
your
we
little...
just have clubs. Now we just have taken a lap or whatever you were saying, Tara.
Come on, you do this, Emma. What before? Shout
Back
out
in
to
the day?
Connor, back in the day. You would do you always do a lap.
course
That's how
you
you
would.
see who's on the bar. You patrol what's going on. Let me take a gander of the room. I'm gonna do a lap.
Listen. I'm gonna skip ahead real quick, but then we'll come back.
Yes.
I would relate that to Turn About the Room.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Right? Right?
The
Great
original.
The original Do a
Take
Lap.
a lap.
Do a
Yep.
lap.
Yep. I think we're really onto something with that.
I think so too. God, this
Yeah.
movie's so relatable.
Yeah.
I really think this movie has ruined me. I can't go out to a club and try to date that way because I'm like, I
Yeah.
need a man to tell me he's in love with me and propose marriage to me on the spot.
Immediately.
But you know what,
My
Ashley?
expectations are too high.
But are they though? I feel like you deserve that.
Yes, 100%.
I don't know.
If that's what you
I don't
want,
know.
you
Maybe
deserve it.
I should hang out like at gazebos in the rain, maybe. Maybe that
Definitely.
should be my spot.
Definitely.
I love that idea. Yeah.
you do get sick easily. So maybe that would be...
But, hello, Jane walks to Mr. Bingley's
Yes.
house later in the rain
And
to get sick and stay with him.
Genius.
The genius of Mrs. Bennet, the mom's always scheming,
She's
plotting,
scheming.
planning.
Dare I say she's the funniest in the movie. She's the
She is.
smartest in the movie. She
Yeah.
orchestrates
She's Kris Jenner.
everything. She's Kris Jenner.
Yeah.
She's Kris Jenner.
Wow.
It's all coming together. It's all coming together.
Oh,
Oh my-
Wait, are
all
they
the
just the
siblings?
Kardashians?
Wait.
5
Oh
sisters?
my god. Wait. This is insane. Wait, who's who? Who is who?
I have no idea, and I'm kind of disgusted by this analogy now.
Why? Okay, get back to it. They go to a party.
All right. They go to Mr. Bingley's dance. And I said, who is this man with the quizzical brow that walked in? It's Mr.
I love
Darcy.
it.
What kind of drugs was I on when I was writing all these notes?
You were just, this is what the movie does to you. It puts you in a euphoric state. You don't know
does.
what's happening. You can't help
Giddy
yourself.
from start to finish. You're just giddy.
Yes. Giddy. 100%.
I mean, as soon as Mr. Darcy sees her, I'm like, he's in trouble. He's nervous, instantly
Totally.
in love.
Mhm.
Come
Totally.
on. We've got Jane and Bingley dancing. So they're kind of starting to hit
They
it
hit
off.
it off immediately. Which
And Elizabeth is
Bingley
like-
is so puppy dog.
Adorable.
So,
He's a golden retriever.
Yeah, golden retriever.
Sweet
100%.
little baby angel. Sweet little baby angel.
Little baby angel Bingley, 100%.
Yeah.
And then you get
Yeah.
that other Darcy, and he's brooding and mysterious, and you
He's
really get it all.
mysterious.
Whatever your preference is, you get it in this movie.
Yep. You get it all.
Mm-hmm.
Do you dance, Mr. Darcy? Not if I can help it.
Also, it's like, who says things like that, you know?
I love
It's just like
it.
so defensive, but like
Yes.
we forgive him.
He's nervous.
He's nervous.
nervy.
Mhm.
He's just-
nervy.
Around Lizzie.
Okay.
He's just a little
When-
introvert.
How about when she overhears him, and he's
Mhm.
basically talking shit? She's underneath the bleachers or something. Like, why are there bleachers there? I don't know what.
Yeah, I
the
was
same
a little
thing.
confused. So
Yeah.
her and her friend are like hiding out somewhere.
Which also, justice for balls,
Charlotte?
but also justice for Charlotte.
Justice for Charlotte Lucas.
Oh
Justice
my
for CL.
god, they hate on her the
Oh,
whole
Charlotte.
time. They literally just say openly multiple times in front of her she's ugly. I'm like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
horrific. Horrific.
Yep. Yep.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, basically, they overhear Darcy being like, "Well, you're dancing with the only tolerable girl in the room," to
Ugh.
Bingley.
Tolerable.
So of course Elizabeth clocks this. She doesn't care. She's
Mhm.
so confident.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they run into each other later, it's instant banter.
Witty. She's
I
so
mean,
witty.
they're-
Mhm.
Why can't I be this witty? Mm-hmm.
They're talking about like what's the fruit of love, what drives away love,
Mm,
and
mm.
he's like, "What do you recommend to encourage an affection? Dancing, even if one's partner is barely tolerable."
Mhm.
Boom! Boom!
I said this movie has bars.
He is shaken by this comment. He's like, "Oh shit,
Yeah,
she
of-
freaking heard me."
She heard me. Yeah.
Mhm.
But listen, you know what? He needed it.
Put in his place, rightfully
Somebody had to do it.
Mhm.
You
I
know.
mean,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
but anyways, they have. I mean, I found it relatable. Lizzie and Jane have their little debrief of the night
That was
under the
cute.
covers.
Their relationship.
That-
We all know we do this with our friends.
I just watched that scene a week ago when I rewatched this, and I was just like, girlhood, like that.
Love it.
Mhm.
Love it.
That is
love
girlhood
it.
to a T, and it was
Wait.
just like
Yep.
made me so happy. Yeah.
Let me ask you, because you said Connor watched with you. No.
Yes. Oh my god, yes. For
What
the
did
first
he
time.
say?
So, yeah, just to preface this, my boyfriend had never seen this movie, which I only realized about a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
He and I had been together for 6 years. And so first of all, I'm like,
Shocking.
how shocking. Like, shocking on my part, and shame on
Mhm.
me for not doing this sooner.
Mm-hmm.
But so obviously I was like, we're watching this together, we're making it a thing. I guess 2 things. One, it was so nice to rewatch the movie with somebody who had not seen it.
Yes,
And
I
who
love
didn't
doing that.
and
Yes.
and who didn't know the plot at all.
Oh
Because
my god.
let me
That
tell
is
you,
such a
like,
good feeling, like with any movie that you
love that.
love. Oh,
so
love
good. And the thing with Connor is, like, he's usually very, very good at predicting plots, predicting endings.
oh.
And obviously, like,
intelligent one.
obviously the movie, like, is predictable in some aspects, but not,
Yeah.
like, with everything.
Mhm.
So it was interesting to just sort of go through it. And, like, a couple points, he was surprised at what actually happened.
Ooh.
Threw him for a loop. And
Love
moral of the
it.
story, he was a big fan by the end.
Of course.
I guess I
Yay.
can wait to share our ratings because we did already discuss. But
Oh,
he was like
so
rated
cute.
it very highly, which I feel like means a
Wow.
lot coming from him. Yeah. Yeah.
Love that. So Bingley invites Jane over, and the mom's like, "You got to go on horseback. It's pouring rain."
Yeah.
She knows
Girl, like,
Jane's
why
gonna
would
catch a
you
cold.
do this to her?
Yeah,
She
we
got
have a
plan.
carriage.
Mm-hmm.
The mom's always got a plan.
Yep.
So she gets sick and has to stay the night. Oh no! And she writes to them to let
She
them
stays
know.
more than a night. I feel like she's staying for a month or something.
Yeah, but
It did feel
originally
like
she
that.
writes and it's just like, "Oh, I'm staying the night," and Lizzie's like, "I have to go check on her."
Perfect excuse.
Classic.
She's so intrigued by Darcy. She's so intrigued.
So she walks over in her boot. She treks into the house all muddy.
God, she always looks fabulous.
I mean,
no matter
the
what.
way
It's just
he,
Keira
like,
Knightley.
Yeah.
You know,
he
stunning.
jumps to his feet as soon as she enters the
Yes.
room
Yeah.
and just
Yes.
nervously stares at her. And this is making me think that any man that doesn't like me is in love with me now. Like,
I
any
mean,
man where I'm getting,
yes.
like...
I've
Maybe,
convinced
though?
myself
Maybe?
of that multiple times. It's
Yeah.
completely reasonable to have those
they
thoughts.
can't stand me, but I'm
Someone's
just like, yeah,
literally
Like, you're in love with
mean
me.
to you. Yeah.
in love with me.
I know that you're in love with me.
They're telling me they don't like me.
Oh god, I love it. Caroline Bingley, horrible.
What a bitch. What a bitch.
Horrible character.
Yeah.
You gotta always have one of those in the movie though, but so
Yeah.
annoying. Don't even want to
Yeah.
give her
Yeah.
time of day. Move on.
Yeah, she's being such a bitch. So, Lizzie's checking on Jane. Next day, the whole family comes, which
Mhm.
this is also a funny entrance because they're like, Miss Bennett, Miss Bennett, Miss
Miss
Bennett,
Bennett? Miss Bennett? Yeah, I love it.
And
Bing-
Miss Bennett.
Yeah. And Bingley's sister is like, "Are we to host every Bennett in the country?"
She does have some good lines. I hate her, but she does have good lines.
But basically, her sisters convince Bingley, like, he should have a ball
They
to, like,
really
welcome everyone.
You love them, but you're
invite
also
all
like,
the soldiers.
yeah, you're
There's
like
so
oh,
much.
There's
So
so
embarrassing.
much. Yeah, I'm like, this is
They're
Mr.
such
Bingley
flirts.
and Mr. Darcy. Act correctly.
There's like
But
absolutely
it works.
zero decorum. Yeah, but and honestly, like, good for them for being so direct, because I feel like if they weren't
They made
like
it
that,
happen.
half the stuff in the movie never would have even happened.
True.
Honestly.
True that.
But it works. Bingley holds a ball. He invites all the soldiers that are passing through town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we finally get Darcy ask Lizzie to dance.
The best.
And what's Charlotte is like, you
Which-
might find him quite amiable.
Oh, Charlotte knows so well. Charlotte knows everything.
And Lizzie said, that would be rather inconvenient, for I've sworn to loathe him for all eternity.
Oh,
I just love how dramatic she
I
talks.
love how dramatic everything is. I am living for it.
Everyone's so dramatic.
This is the scene where they dance and then everyone else disappears, which is so good because they're just locked in. They're arguing, they're chatting, they're right.
They're dancing. She's being a smartass, like telling him, like, you really should comment on the weather or whatever, like all the things he should be saying to her. Wickham's brought up because, well, we skip past this, but when the soldiers came to town, they were walking with Wickham, and Darcy passed by, and there's clearly a weird vibe between those two.
Weird vibe.
They don't like each other. Lizzie thinks Wickham, like, was so wronged by Darcy.
Yes.
Like, took away money.
Wickham convinces her of that. Yeah.
Yep.
So she's just, like, daggering
Mm-hmm.
Darcy all night.
Wait, one thing that I just want to say that we passed over, I believe, is that now this is an iconic scene, people. When Elizabeth picks up Jane and they're saying goodbye after they've convinced them to throw a ball, and Darcy helps her into the carriage and touches
Oh,
her hand.
Right.
Oh,
How did we forget that, people?
how did we forget that?
This is essential to discuss. You see,
Yeah.
he lifts her into the carriage and she's totally not
Yep.
expecting it because he helps
Yeah.
with her hand, and then she looks back at him like, what just happened? I can't believe that you would help me. I
Mhm.
thought that you loathed me. No, he's obviously obsessed with you.
Obsessed with her.
And
Obsessed.
then he walks away and he like scrunches his hand. He loves
He
her.
does the
He's
hand
obsessed
flex.
with her.
Yep.
He's never washing that hand again.
That scene is my Roman Empire. That's the scene I think about
Yes.
every week.
Yes.
At least.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people would agree with that. And again, in watching this movie last week,
Yeah.
the scene starts to come on and I was like, this scene is like a cinematic masterpiece. Like
Yes.
this scene is so famous.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, like that was me being dramatic, but I don't think that's wrong. Like I
No.
think that
Not at
even
all.
if you haven't seen the movie that many times, like you probably know what that scene is.
Yeah.
And just like the feeling that it gives you when you
Oh
watch
my
that
God,
like
yes.
3-second clip.
Mm-hmm.
Speechless.
Okay, next morning, guess who we meet? Mr. Collins. So annoying.
Horrible.
Okay,
Their
Okay.
cousin.
What?
but like low key, he's like my second favorite character in the whole movie.
What?
Listen, hear me out.
Darcy
He's-
and Elizabeth.
Okay, second favorite funny character.
Fine.
For me,
Oh,
he's like
funny,
right behind
yeah.
Mrs. Bennett, you know? Like, he's obviously
Okay, if
disgusting.
you say the
Humorous,
funny
yeah.
route, I'm agreeing with you. Yes, he's
Okay,
hilarious because he's
Hilarious.
psychotic.
And I feel like that's why he's so, like, he's likable in that way, because he's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're supposed to hate him, but, like,
Mhm.
the things that he says are just, you know, funny because they're ridiculous.
He's like a preacher. He's obsessed with Lady Catherine de Bourgh.
Yeah, like so weirdly obsessed.
He's such a little weasel boy.
Yeah.
Weasel boy.
Little
He feels
weasel
like
boy.
he could be, like, a weird, like, cult leader or something if he
Yes.
got too powerful.
Yes, yeah,
Um,
totally.
He
Just disgusted by him, but,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
But hilarious.
He
You're
feels
right.
to me like, you know, in Cinderella when they turn like the rats into the footmen
Yeah.
for the night.
He's the
Kind of feels
rat.
like that energy. Like if he was like a weasel turned to a man
I see that. I
and
see that, I
just
see that.
like
Yep.
I could see that.
put into this movie.
Well, he wants to get engaged with Jane.
Mhm.
And the mom's like, no, she's about to be engaged. I'm like, they literally didn't
Yeah.
even speak really. And she's like, no, they're getting engaged. She's on a mission. She got a plan. Nothing can
Yeah.
stop her.
She has a plan for Jane,
Yeah.
and that's Bingley.
Yeah.
So he comes right out and is like, okay, well, can I speak to Lizzie instead?
Yes. He doesn't care. He's just going to go down the line to the next sister.
He's not wasting any time.
No.
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 And of course Lizzie refuses. We know Lizzie. She's holding out.
She's the smartest
Mhm.
one out of all of them. She's like, absolutely not. She'd rather be by herself forever
Yeah.
than be with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we get another gorgeous, gorgeous scene. She's standing by the lake. Like, you see these geese, like, almost slow motion touch down onto the
Mhm.
water. There's, like, trees, like, what are those
Weeping
called?
willows.
Willow.
Weeping
Yeah.
willows. And her mom and dad come out. The mom's yelling at her, telling her, you have to marry Mr. Collins or I will never
Ugh.
speak to you again.
I love the dad.
And we
Oh
get
my God.
the dad. You must be a stranger to one of your parents. Your mother will not see you again if you do marry. Do not marry Mr. Collins, and I will not see you again if you do.
Oh,
Iconic.
my God.
I mean, come on. The
What a
best
line.
characters
He
ever.
is so
Ugh.
steady. He is so lovable the entire movie. He's so
Yeah.
grounding.
That's the most lovable person
I love
ever.
Him. Love
Yeah.
him.
Agreed.
Well, Bingley has moved away
Ugh.
suddenly. I mean, You're confused. You're left just wondering
Suspicious.
what is going on.
Mm-hmm.
And Lizzie's like, it's his sister. His sister's turning him against you.
Mm.
Jane's
she
so
is.
naive.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, no, she would never do that on purpose. But Jane goes to visit Bingley. Did he move back to London? Is that
Well,
where he
I think
moved?
she just
Yeah.
goes to London to visit like family, and she's gonna try and
Family,
run
but we all
into
know
him.
we all know
Yeah.
she's there for Bingley,
Duh.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course.
And then we get the great spinning swing scene where Lizzie's on
Yes. Oh my
her
god.
Okay.
swing in the yard.
I thought about this, like, I rewatched this a week ago. Like, obviously, totally different, but similar vibes. I guess number one, love it, like, in general, love a good, like, time lapse scene where it's circular like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Immediately, it made me think of Twilight New Moon.
I knew,
Bella-
I was hoping you were saying
Like,
that.
you knew where I was going.
yes.
Bella, depression scene in the bedroom with the
Yeah.
seasons. Like,
All the
absolutely
scenes passing her by.
iconic.
Yeah.
Same vibes
Yeah.
as this, you know?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
just
Totally.
really, really love it.
I mean,
Wow.
it's just such a relatable scene, too.
It is.
Where you're staying in the same place and watching the world pass you by.
Yeah.
Like, we've all been there. We've all had that feeling before.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Charlotte comes by and tells Lizzie that she's engaged to Mr. Collins, and we just get such a sad look into Charlotte's life where she's like,
Ugh.
not like some of us can't afford to be romantic. Well, how old did she say she was? Like 27 or
27.
something?
Yeah.
27. Could you imagine?
Disturbing.
Oh my
Disturbing.
goodness.
But, like,
Yeah.
She's like,
again,
I'm
like,
27 and unwed.
puts it in perspective so much. Like,
Yes.
I cannot even imagine
Mm-hmm.
having to deal with that, like, at that time.
I know.
So then we get Lizzie visiting Charlotte in Collins now that they're married.
Mm-hmm.
They live on Lady Catherine de Bourgh's estate.
The-
I never know how to say her last name.
That was great.
We get a great line from Mr. Collins when Lizzie visits. He's like, "Oh, don't worry, Lady Catherine has never been adverse to the truly humble." Like, that sounds like
Give me a fucking
one of
break.
Tara's backhanded compliments.
Stop. I love this scene where they're all there and you don't expect to see Mr. Darcy and he appears.
Mhm.
Love it. It's a little bit more of an intimate, right? They're getting to know each other actually.
Very intimate. Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They're bantering as usual. Lady Catherine makes her play the piano, even though she's not very good at it. But Darcy's friend reveals to Lizzie, like, oh, Darcy's also, like, really generous because he just discouraged Bingley pursuing Jane.
Mhm.
Like, he doesn't use their names, but she knows that's what
Yes.
they're talking about.
Mhm.
Like, he was the one that told Bingley to move away and
We think
forget about Jane.
Yeah, we think that the mom's mastermind, Darcy is the ultimate mastermind.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He's really
Secretly
pulling all the
masterminding.
strings in the background.
All the strings. Yep.
And so she runs off in the rain. The music is crescendoing. There's a
Ugh,
forceful
this
violin
scene.
solo. So camera pans to Darcy, who has followed her, and it's a harsh cut to the music. I love you most ardently. Please do me the honor of accepting my hand. But of course, he puts in, like, despite my better judgment.
Yeah, and it's kind of like
You ruined it with that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Why you gotta go there? This could have been such a good moment. I mean,
Because
iconic
clearly he was
moment,
having some
but-
feelings. He was having some conflicting feelings.
Yeah.
But
he's just so confused. He's
yelling
never
at
felt like
him.
this before.
No.
Yeah.
He has no clue what he's feeling. But I just wrote, like, this scene is electric. They're wet. They're arguing.
Yeah.
Like,
I all
keep getting better.
You would be
And
the last man that I
also-
would ever be prevailed upon to marry.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
good.
I also just feel like he was really just being like a stupid boy in this
Mhm.
scene. Like he was
Yeah.
just being an idiot.
Yeah.
And I feel like he again like needed to be taken down a couple notches.
Yes.
And I feel like that's exactly what that scene accomplishes. Like
Yeah.
Lizzie's just like absolutely giving it to him, like, you know, calling
Mhm.
him out.
Yeah, she's doing it the whole time. Like with
She
the
is.
dance scene, even if one
Yep.
partner is barely tolerable,
Yep. Yep.
he needs her. She needs
He does.
him.
Yeah.
Funny how that works.
It's making him fall more in love with her. Come on.
Yeah.
And I just the way he, like, is looking at her in the scene, like,
Ugh.
even when she brings up Mr. Wickham and he keeps stepping closer and closer to her, like, looking at
He's
her lips,
desperate.
looking at her
Can't stand
eyes.
it. I know.
Which, can we jump to, like, the next scene that's the most dramatic scene that I've ever seen in a movie ever? And she's staring, she's in a dark room,
Yeah.
staring at her reflection, and he comes in and, like, drops off a letter or something. Like, I don't know. I was always just like, this is so freaking dramatic. Like, did he break in? Is she imagining this? What's happening?
Yes. That's what I used to think. I thought it was like, it was a dream or it was something.
Yeah.
And it's not. Like, it's supposed to be happening, but it's the fact that she's apparently supposed to be standing there for hours. Just, like, mulling over what just happened.
Maybe it's just, like, symbolic of she's so out of it. Like, she's so in her own
I think she's
head.
just so taken aback by this, like,
but
proposition.
they do
what happened.
So dramatically.
So
she's standing there for hours, just standing in one place.
He leaves her letter. We hear it in his voice explaining all of the misunderstandings because she laid into him in this gazebo, being like, "You discouraged affection from my sister. You did all this stuff to Mr. Wickham, whatever." So he's like, "I'm gonna address the 2 accusations you made against me. One being the, like, discouraging affection for your sister. He was led to believe, like, because her sister's so shy, he thought she had no real affection for
I think is
Mr.
stupid,
Bingley."
okay? Because Darcy's so effing shy, and he's just gonna use that as an excuse to be like, don't go for her.
Yeah, but he overheard the mom so many times just being like, "Oh, we're gonna have so much money when, like, Jane and Bingley get married." Like, he knew that the mom was after money, so he's scared that Jane's being a gold digger.
I guess. I just didn't like how he said, like, because Elizabeth comes back and she's like, as for my sister, she barely shows her own emotions to me. Like, how dare you use it as an excuse? I just thought that was a stupid excuse.
And it's not like Darcy ever had a conversation with Jane. Like, he doesn't know her at all. And so it's like, if Bingley's standing there and it's like, this girl, she's amazing.
Bingley
I'm falling in love with her.
Is in love with her, yes.
Right, like, clearly. And yes, like, he's obviously a bit naive as well. But if your friend is saying this to you, why would you immediately discount that without even
100%.
knowing it in person?
100%. As for the other Ash,
basically he was like, Mr. Wickham, it was all a lie. Like, he was friends with the dad, but he tried to marry his, like, young sister.
He stole
run off
the
with
money.
her to
He, like, gambled all the father's money away once the dad died. It's not even, he's not even part of the family, but the dad liked him a lot, and I guess Mr. Wickham didn't have anything. And the dad left him a big sum of money.
Yeah.
And he, like, gambled it away immediately.
Idiot.
Yeah.
Idiot.
And then he tried to run away with the sister, though.
Yeah.
Horrific.
And she was 15.
Yeah, she was young.
Could you imagine?
Oh my god, stop. This letter now, she's like, oh my god, I've been so wrong, right?
I've been so wrong about Mr. Darcy. So she's going on a trip with her aunt and uncle.
Love this.
Kitty is going to stay with family members with military men, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
in Brighton.
Off to London, right?
I think it's in Brighton or something. Yeah.
Oh, Brighton. Okay.
Yeah.
So she's traveling with her aunt and uncle, and they just decide to stop by Darcy's estate. I mean, his palace is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Gardens and a lake. I mean, it's basically a museum. Like, there's statues and paintings everywhere.
Yeah.
Of course, she sees a statue of Darcy.
It's a museum,
She's, like,
100%.
staring.
You actually get to tour it. They're on a tour of his house.
Yeah.
They don't think that he's there.
Yeah.
And she's just staring at the statue of Darcy, and the maid comes up.
So in love.
Isn't he handsome? I dare say he is. Like, she's so in love.
The maid's in love with him.
Everyone's in love with him.
Oh my goodness. But of course Darcy ends up being there.
She hears some piano
Obviously.
music. Georgiana.
Yeah. Georgiana. Georgiana's actually really cool, guys.
She's so cool.
She's cool.
So
She
cute.
She's just she's good at everything.
She is.
She is.
So I sort of like hate her for that, but
yeah, it's too much pressure.
Yeah.
She's rich, and it's just like, all right, like, we've had enough.
100%.
And then we get news that Lydia and Wickham have run away together. which
Lydia
this,
is so
is the
effing
end of the
annoying
world.
in this, which is so, she just plays the part so well because
she does.
I love her in everything else, but you
Agreed.
hate her in this movie. You hate
absolutely. Her. Lydia is maybe Mr. Wickham's the worst character.
Yeah.
Lydia's just above him.
Just there. Yep. They're together,
just
basically.
Yeah.
She's so annoying the whole movie. And we find out
she's
she
so
freaking
oblivious.
is romping around with Mr. Wickham.
She is.
This is ruining the family's name.
Yes.
Ruining the family. Yeah.
Lizzie can't even say the words when she gets the letter. She's pacing around the room. She's sobbing because she knows her family's ruined.
And then Mr. Bennet returns with a letter basically saying, like, Wickham will marry Lydia for $100 a year. And they just assume that the uncle paid Wickham, like, a super large sum of money to come to this solution. Because the dad's being like, $100 a year, that's not bad.
Yeah, like we got off easy, people.
We got off really easy. Like, your uncle must have paid him a fortune to get this deal. I mean, this is just so annoying when Lydia comes back with Wickham and she's just happy as a clam, acting like she did some great feat.
And talk about the little scenes. Talk about the little nuances of this movie.
Yes.
They're there. They're so effing annoying. We don't even have to discuss it, right? They go off. You know what I'm saying, Emma. They go off in the carriage. And through the panes of the glass window, right as they're turning the corner out of the entrance, you see Mr. Wickham rip her down into the carriage. Because she's like waving goodbye, saying, and you see him grab her down, and you know he is horrible. Abusive relationship.
Immediately.
Horrible marriage. Yes.
Yep.
It's the little things like that. Don't we find out that Lydia says, like, Mr. Darcy paid for this at the dinner. So now she's full blown, like, I am obsessed with him.
Obsessed with love.
Yeah.
As we all are.
Catch it, but
100%. I was obsessed since he first made his entrance into the ball.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we get Bingley and Darcy come by the house.
Ooh.
Darcy
This scene,
scene,
guys. No, wait. When all of the women are just lazily, everything's strewn about everywhere in the room, and they're all just hanging out in, like, that room, right? And then they, I forget who yells, like, Mr. Bingley and Darcy are coming. And they freak out, and they're like, act like everything's normal, act like everything's normal. They're throwing everything, they're cleaning as fast as they can.
Yeah.
The door opens, the maid lets them in, and they're all perfectly sitting there like, welcome.
Yeah, perfectly still as if this is just how they were. Yeah.
Yes.
It's so good.
I love it.
So good.
Come on, this is comedy.
This is comedy, people.
If
you're not laughing, I don't know what's happening.
I don't know what you're doing. Yeah. I also, again, another scene where it's just like a sweet little, like, I hate to say, like, girlhood again, but you know what I mean? It's just like
say it loud and proud.
Right, but you know what I mean? Like, it's like a sweet little, like, female motif. Like, they're just chilling, like, being very, like, undone casual, laying on the couch in their corset, eating chocolates. Like, wish that was me. And then immediately having to, like, get it back together again and pretend like you're okay.
They can do it all. They can do it all.
They can do it all.
Yeah.
They can do it all. I love it.
They come in, the two guys, and they just basically are saying hi. They leave, right? And everyone's kind of confused. Then catch them.
So cute.
Catch them. They're so effing cute. Catch them out by the water where Mr. Darcy's helping Mr. Bingley to propose.
I know.
It's
he's
adorable.
He's just like psyching him up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pacing about.
Bingley's so nervous.
And
to
again,
propose.
The scenery, the vibes of this, it's so gorgeous by the water, under the weeping
countryside,
willow, countryside. Yes, stunning, stunning, stunning.
So, of course, Bingley comes back in and proposes to Jane.
Yeah.
Jane says yes. Everyone is ecstatic.
Yeah.
I mean, Mrs. Bennet is finally happy.
And the connection between Darcy and Lizzie, they look at each other, they know what's up. They know that tension between them.
Mm-hmm.
And then they leave, and it's middle of the night, and we get another surprise visitor. Lady Catherine de Bourgh. Well, Lady Catherine comes in and asks to speak to Lizzie privately.
Yes.
She's like,
outrageous.
Did my nephew propose to you?
Outrageous. Crazy. It's the middle of the night.
Psychopath behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lizzie's like, why do you care if he proposed to me?
If that happened to me, I don't think that I'd be able to just like deny. I'd be crying. I would immediately be like, I'm so sorry for, what I've done. Done nothing wrong. But like,
why can't I be Lizzie? But yes, I totally agree
Lizzie
with you.
Stays
totally
so
agree.
composed.
I'd be like, this is the great Catherine the Great. I have to.
Yeah, Lizzie asked her to leave her house.
Yeah, she does.
She's so
like,
strong.
So what?
Yep.
So what if your nephew proposed to me? Get out my house.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lizzie walks outside. It's essentially dawn. Like, it's that moment before the sun officially starts to rise, but you see that the sky is a little bit lighter. Just to set the ambiance.
Gorgeous.
I mean, we see mist rolling over the hills. There's, like, just the slightest pinkish hues. And we see Mr. Darcy walking towards her. White linen shirt unpinned.
His little pants.
Oh
his
my
long
God.
coat is brushing out behind him.
He is walking to us for a century, and we love it. We want him walking longer.
I want it to be longer. I want it to be longer.
It's so good.
And we just get, like, the best proclamation of love. He's like, you surely must know it was all for you. My affections and wishes have not changed, but one word from you will silence me forever.
Oh my God.
You have bewitched me body and soul, and I love you. And he, like, stutters.
I love you.
I love you.
Oh my God.
I never wish to be parted from you from this day on. And she doesn't say a word, because one word from her will silence him. She just takes his hand.
Your hands are cold.
Which coincidentally is the name of the song that plays in that scene.
Album. Yes.
Genius.
It's so good.
So good.
It's so good.
And they lean their heads together
as the sun peeks
the sunrise
through.
Is getting it's getting more and more bright. We're getting yellows, we're getting pinks, and it's just the most gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it's the fact that, like, they don't even kiss in that scene.
I know.
No,
they don't kiss until,
you don't need it.
Movie.
That's the thing. That's
the thing. And that's,
I did say I wish there was a little smooch.
All right, yeah. But, like, that's why I feel like the genius of the movie, it's like there's so much chemistry.
Yeah.
But in other ways, other, like, moments of touching or whatever. And it's just...
We've said in other episodes, like, why didn't they freaking have sex? We've literally been like, why did we need more? You don't
this movie
need
doesn't
more.
Need it.
You are completely and utterly satisfied from watching
Completely
this movie.
Satisfied.
Yeah.
Correct.
This movie has me
swooning.
Yes. Yep. And the last scene, does that even top it? I don't know. Both are so freaking good.
I just
They're
don't know.
at Darcy's house. It's nighttime. They're outside. They're sitting on, like, the balcony terrace thing. All the candles are lit. They're completely undone. You know, they're in their loungewear, okay?
In their nightgowns.
They're in their 90s.
I
didn't write down the quote, but he's like, what should I call you when I'm cross? What should I call you when I'm this? And then she says...
She's listing it off.
Yeah. Call me Elizabeth for whatever. Call me my Pearl for Sundays. Call me Mrs.
Goddess Divine.
Goddess Divine.
Goddess Divine. Call
me Goddess Divine.
Okay, Lizzie.
But she says, because he says, should I call you Mrs. Darcy when I'm cross? And she said, no, only when you're, like, absolutely and utterly in love with me or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever he says. And then he kisses her on the forehead. Okay, Mrs. Darcy. Kisses her on the cheek. Okay, Mrs. Darcy. I think he even kisses her on the chin. Then goes for the lips, right?
Chin, other cheek, and then the lips.
She has it memorized.
He kisses her all around.
It is so good.
So
good. This movie's so good.
I mean...
And it's one of those scenes where you're like, if this happened in any other film, I would be disgusted.
It wouldn't work.
It wouldn't.
I'd be like,
but it's just
ew,
like,
you're too sensitive.
Filthy.
No. Not this.
It's because it's like, it's been like this slow burn build.
Yes.
The whole movie. And then finally at the end, we get a nice little bundled up package with a bow tie on it.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Dare I say this whole movie is perfect? 10 out of 10. 50.
Yeah, 50, honestly.
50 score for the...
I mean, it's just so good.
Okay, anyway. No. Let's get new in town. Let's just go through this fast.
Oh, I need to blow
Apologies
my
to
nose.
anyone who is obsessed with New in Town, is going up against Pride and Prejudice. It's not gonna win. I'm
It's not looking good.
sorry.
All right, Tara, you want to give us a synopsis?
Yeah. Okay. So this synopsis sucks. Just want to preface with that.
Let it rip.
Yeah, let it rip. Okay. Usually I put my heart and soul into these synopses, but big city girl, and big business girly. Renee
I'm gonna pull my
Zellweger.
notes.
Renee Zellweger is forced to move to freezing cold Wisconsin to shut down a butter company.
Minnesota.
Oh.
Yeah, Minnesota.
Come
How
on.
do you not even get the state right?
I've already messed it up. My heart's not in this. Okay. Freezing cold Minnesota to shut down a butter company. Is it butter? Is it milk? I don't know. Something dairy.
I don't even remember.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it doesn't really matter.
No, it doesn't. Little does she know, the people of this town will win her over. Will win her over in more ways than one. What that means, I don't know. I just wrote that. Okay. In fact, she might even meet the love of her life. Hugh Harry Connick Jr. That's it. That's all I have.
Oh.
That's all
Can I just say right off the bat, like, any movie with Harry Connick Jr. in it, immediately, I'm like, okay, like, you've gotten at least a point from me.
Okay,
like,
I love Harry Connick
It is
Jr.
a good cast.
I love Harry Connick.
Harry Connick Jr.
And I
He's
like
the
Renee
only
Zellweger.
redeeming thing in this.
I agree.
You guys don't
Like,
like Renee?
Unfortunately, I agree.
And I like Renee Zellweger, but like this is, come on, girl, this is not good. Anyway, small town. Okay, so now in my other notes I wrote Minnesota, but for my synopsis I wrote Wisconsin. Okay, anyway, butter company. She's running. She's sprinting on the boardwalk in Miami. She is big business. She can do it all, and which is ridiculous. She's the only woman in the room, and they send her off to fucking Minnesota.
Sexist.
Unfair. Sexist. Unfair. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So she gets picked up by Blanche. Right?
Oh, Blanche.
Wait. What? Wait.
This is gonna be a mess.
Can I just say?
What?
Oh my god! All right, so
I can't breathe. I don't even know what you're gonna say.
It's not even funny, but like, I had to take notes about the characters to like remember them, obviously. And I just wrote down Blanche, and all I wrote was sweetheart, and I want her tapioca.
Okay, tapioca is rice pudding, right?
Yeah, I think it's like
love.
It's
rice
like
it's not rice pudding.
It's
but
slightly
it's
different.
similar consistency.
Oh,
Yes.
really?
Yeah.
It's tapioca pearls, kind of like boba.
Oh,
Yes.
Well, I freaking
But it's
love
like a similar
rice pudding, so I'm sure I would love Blanche's
similar
You would like
flavor
tapioca.
profile.
Mm.
Yeah.
You'll like tapioca.
I'm sure I would. So typical. She arrives at the airport. She's ill-dressed for the occasion. She's wearing a pencil skirt. Okay.
Trope.
Heels, all the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
She goes like Blanche's work as her assistant at the company, but then also she's like everyone knows everyone in town. She shows her where her house is, which the lady from American Horror Story is like also in this.
Yes.
Right? And she like is in charge of getting the house
Yeah.
or whatever. So they drop her off at the house that she's staying at. There's like so much snow. This seems this is not the good vibes that we had in Pride and Prejudice. It's a snowstorm.
It's really not.
It's freezing. I'm feeling uncomfortable. She's wearing a pencil skirt. Her nipples are sticking straight out. She's so cold.
Oh my god, that was a weird scene.
That was so bad.
She like goes to the bathroom.
That was very much like you didn't need that in the movie.
That was their attempt at humor.
And it's just,
I believe.
Yeah, it's not funny. So she
Which is like, it's so cold that she can't hide her nipples.
Yeah.
That's your joke that you're gonna go with?
Wasn't necessary. Mm-hmm. It didn't lead to anything. All she did was, so Blanche invites her to...
she put her jacket on.
Yeah, Blanche invites her to her house for dinner, and like, of course, a bunch of people from town are there, because everyone is everywhere. Mm-hmm. And she comes in and takes off her coat, and because she has this tight little sweater on, her nipples are sticking straight out, and everyone notices. And Harry Connick Jr.'s first line in the movie is like he's spitting out beer, looking at her nipples. It was just
Mm-hmm.
very much like, and he says, "Damn." I'm like, this is not. I'm not feeling
It's
this.
not.
I'm not
It's
feeling
not
this.
it. It's
Damn.
not it.
And that's a
I
bad introduction of the two of them.
Yes. Also, in my note, the only thing I've written down about Harry Connick
Hmm.
up front is that, and I can't remember exactly what he said, but he made a like weird comment about Fergie that was like sexist, somewhat inappropriate, like something or
At the
other.
dinner
And I was
table, because
just
they're
at the
talking
dinner.
about, yeah, they're talking about how he likes country and Renee likes, or Lucy, her name is, likes
Yeah.
modern stuff or whatever. And he has a daughter, and the daughter only, he's like, we listen to country, baby, right? Like, that's all we listen to in this house. I'm driving my pickup truck or whatever. And it's just, it's so weird. It's not,
Yeah.
when you compare it to Darcy and Elizabeth, who are polar opposites, but are the chemistry and vibing and banter of them is just, it's very hard to compare these two movies. Because that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
They're trying to have opposites with banter, and it's
Mm-hmm.
absolutely horrific.
It's not working. Yeah.
Anyway, they get up and they basically both leave dinner disgusted with each other, right? So they're off to a bad start. Basically, everyone in this plant, in this butter factory, hates her because they know that she's coming in to basically like shut it down or fire people. So they try
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
convince her.
She's the bad guy.
They convince her that it's gopher day and they can all take the day off.
Yeah.
And they're basically just out at the bar, right? And I think, like, I'm trying to even remember what I think that's
They're
when
just
she gets fed up, right? And she tries to go to
yeah.
Miami. Sorry,
I
Miami.
feel like the they're just trying to like screw her over
Yeah,
any chance
they
they
want her
get.
out
Like
because I think they even made a comment like they drove out the last person from corporate so quickly or something like
right,
that.
right,
So
right.
she's like, I'm out of here. She packs her bags. She starts to fly. She tries to get to the airport to go to Miami, and the
Miami.
flights are all canceled because there's a snowstorm.
Well, wait, we also before this we learned that Ted, like what's his name? Harry Connick
Hmm.
Jr.'s character,
Mm-hmm.
who she antagonized the night before, is the head of the workers
Oh
union.
yes,
Right.
he's a
Yeah. Yeah.
So
big
we have another
character.
layer
Yeah,
added.
Yeah.
that's true. She needs to
She's
deal with him like on a daily
yeah.
basis, and she didn't realize that. She was
He's the
like,
one that's trying to prevent any layoffs, anything like that.
And she even said like he overheard her as she's talking to Blanche, being like, "I'm really good with these people. Like I'm gonna suck up to him or whatever." And then in walks Harry
Mm.
Connick, and she's like, "Oh,
She's got
mistake."
another thing coming.
Yeah. So I did actually really enjoy this scene when she crashes her car driving back from the
Hmm.
airport trying to go to Miami. She crashes her because I'm just like, this is outrageous.
Outrageous.
She crashes her car because she almost hits like an elk or something, goes into a ditch, is stuck, blizzard. She gets drunk off of like a big container of wine and puts
Hmm.
her uh red lingerie outside to warn like, hey, I'm here and I'm stranded.
To try to
On the car
yeah.
antenna.
Yeah,
Which
That's
can
pretty smart.
that's smart.
I wrote that down as a note. I was like,
Mhm.
that is so smart.
Yeah,
Because honestly, like,
I wouldn't
and
think to
I feel
do
like
that.
I wouldn't think to do that either. And honestly, like, she could so easily have died in that situation.
100%.
Like, so easily could have died
And
because it was so
yeah.
cold.
Harry
you
Connick
know?
goes and saves her and pulls her out,
Yeah.
and that's literally what he says.
Yeah.
Like, so many people, like he's like, I'm driving up and down this road because so many people die from these blizzards. Like, this isn't a joke, and that was actually
Yeah.
really smart to put that out of your car. But she's blackout drunk right now.
Blackout, yeah.
She's
As you would be.
Yeah, she's so drunk. She finished the whole bottle of wine. He brings her home. She can't even open her door. He has to help her open the door, and she calls him like handsome or sexy or something, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, don't get any ideas. And it's just awkward and weird, like, because she's so belligerent. And then she falls off the side of the front porch, and he has to like
Yeah.
carry her in. Then she just wakes up the next morning and she's like, what just happened?
Also, I was like,
it's all very like,
in that part where she falls off the porch, I was just like, you could have a concussion from
100%,
that.
and he
Like,
just barely
she could be
turns around.
so injured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, yes, have a concussion and he just leaves her there. Like
Yeah.
puts her in bed, but then like leaves her there. Like, you know
Yeah.
me, I'm like, there's internal bleeding. There
She could have easily died in the night.
100%. She could have died from the car.
Yeah.
She could have died from that. 100%. Anyway, so we were saying this the other day at work. It has the perfect premise, this movie. Big city woman goes to rural area,
small
meets small town guy. This is every Hallmark Christmas movie, basically.
And even, like, the whole, like, she doesn't know how to handle the cold.
Yes, like,
you got heels on ice.
the
You've got, like,
perfect
he has to
premise,
show her the rope.
But yet I felt like they didn't
Not
deliver.
the perfect execution.
Yeah, they didn't deliver.
Agreed.
Because it had the potential to be so good, and I just wasn't feeling it. And I love the actors. I love, like, everyone in this. No complaints. It just didn't work for some reason. So they basically, it's now Christmas, right? Blanche gives her the scrapbook. Everyone is caroling. They're walking to the center of town. Guys, this is a little crazy for me. This is like cultish. They're all walking to the center of town with candles, caroling, gathering around the Christmas tree.
Like, don't include me in that.
Did anyone else feel a little crazy with this?
Exactly. Yeah. I thought it was weird.
I thought this was... So then she goes up. There's like an ice hockey game or something. And she goes up to him and she's like, I just want to say, like, properly thank you for saving my life. I'm so sorry. You can see she's now, like, because they make eye contact during that candle vigil thing, right? You see a little spark. So she goes up and she's like, thank you so much for saving my life. I didn't properly say blah, 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 whatever. They're chit-chatting. You can see she's coming around to him because at one point she was disgusted with him.
Yeah.
And then the daughter comes up, Bobby, the daughter, right? Of course she has a boy name. Plays ice hockey, tomboy. So then we see they keep jumping again. Then it's Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah.
Right after like Christmas.
Yeah, how long is she staying here?
Like, it seems like
who knows?
Maybe this is why it didn't work.
Yeah. Something was off with everything. So that was Valentine's Day, and he comes over. They're all making Valentine's Day cards, which is crazy.
Weird.
She goes to return the tapioca bowl, and I'm thinking of balls still. Bring back balls.
Balls.
She goes back to Blanche's house to return the tapioca ball. Oh my god, bowl!
Oh wait, I didn't. Whatever.
Okay, and then she sits down in the kitchen. The ladies from town are sitting there making handwritten Valentine's Day cards. I don't know.
Wait.
It's a sweet thought, but...
Again, like, could not be me. Like, don't sign me up for that.
Don't.
But another one of my notes was that the group of old ladies, or they're not even old, the group of women who are in this little circle, I feel like, along with Harry Connick, they make the movie. Like, it's very sweet that they're
a nice
close.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's maybe a little bit too close. Like, they're all really in each other's business, but, like, it is, like, endearing.
It's an endearing, cute little vibe that they have going. That's true. Yeah. That is true. So she sits down with them, and then Harry Connick runs in, and he's like, I need the help of a woman. He's like...
Immediately I was like, what is about to happen right now?
And so then he's like, Bobby is going to the Valentine's Day ball, or whatever day.
The ball. It was a ball.
And I took her in town to get a perm, and she looks crazy, right? Whatever.
It's like, Harry, why would you do that? Why would you take her to get a perm?
When she comes out of the car, and all the women are like, you look horrific.
Yeah,
she looks regular.
She looked normal. It
wasn't bad.
She looks regular. And of course, Lucy is immediately like, get in my car. We're going to town. I have to help you.
Yeah.
She's like, we have to, don't worry about her, Harry. Like, I'll be back in a couple of hours. We have to get a new dress, a new pair of shoes, her hair done, her makeup done. The whole thing. Mm-hmm. They go to this, like, bohemian Moroccan hairdresser.
And like, it's obviously either
it's in Michigan or Minnesota or whatever.
No.
Like, Like,
No. Yes,
What
but
are you saying?
they must have gone to either Minneapolis or St. Paul for that.
yeah.
Because it was like, we're going to the city. And like,
Yeah,
We're going
but
to the
like,
big
where else?
city.
you picked this
They went
is
to the
so
Mall of
early
America.
2000s, like
Yeah.
this bohemian kind of weird, freaky, whatever. And they're like, whatever. They do her hair, they do her makeup. Her first pair of heels they put on. And,
Which were filthy.
they're
Absolutely.
disgusting. And did I own these?
Absolutely filthy.
Yes. Did I own
Obviously,
these
we all
heels?
did. We all did. And it's like, you know, the ones rounded toe,
Oh my
inch and a half
God.
heel,
Horrible,
a filthy color.
horrible,
Yeah.
horrible. But I love every second of it. So she comes back and then she's like, "All right, I have Bobby." Like, and she comes down the stairs and Harry Connor's like, "You look just like her." The wife that died, because we find out
Yeah.
the wife had cancer. That's why they were
Mhm.
living up there, to be close to
The Mayo Clinic.
Another
the
trope.
Mayo Clinic.
You love a widow.
Yeah.
I know. Throw that in. You're always a sucker.
Yeah.
So she goes
I
off.
also,
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I also think that, like, obviously makeover is such a trope,
100%.
but I thought it was sweet that the makeover was done on the daughter
Yeah.
versus, like, main female
Yeah,
character.
That's true.
Spice it up a little bit.
Because
yeah.
you know what she did? I mean, she was cute before. Obviously, her hair and stuff. Like, she looks cute. She looks adorable when she comes out. So
Yeah,
it's
she
actually,
does.
it's a good
Yeah.
makeover, because sometimes
It's
they
sweet.
don't always have a good makeover and they come out looking worse
Yes.
sometimes than before. But anyway.
Somehow.
Yeah. But anyway, so this was, you're right. That was a good one. So they send Bobby off, and the most uncomfortable scene, Harry Connick says to the guy that's picking her
to
up,
the
like,
date.
"I'll do whatever you do to her to you," and you're just like, "Oh God."
Yeah, that was disgusting.
Harry, I don't think you will.
Yeah, no, that is also like child molestation. Anyway, so
Yeah, I was like, are you threatening to rape me right now? What the
Yeah, like,
fuck
what
is
is going
happening?
on?
yes, he did in fact do that.
Why couldn't they have just left it at, like, I'll get the gun, like the polishing the gun
Yeah.
Right.
or whatever?
Yeah, who knows? So then they go to the dance. What do these two do? What do Harry and Lucy do when they're left to each other? They're making out on the couch all night. They're going at it.
Of course they are.
Crazy.
Of course they are.
And then Bobby comes back, and they both have to just pretend like nothing happened, and they're so awkward. I
Like
didn't
they were
mind
just
that scene.
waiting
I'm
up
like,
for
all right,
her.
all right.
Sweet, I guess.
Yeah, sweet, I guess. I don't know. Then they go hunting, but crow hunting. Is this
Oh
a
my
thing?
God.
Who would
I don't
who would
know.
want to eat a crow? Harry's trying to get her on good terms with Stu again, the plant manager that quit,
Mhm.
right? Or she fired him, and he got the whole
Yep.
plant to turn against her, blah, 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 whatever
Yeah.
nonsense.
Wait, a quick note, because we didn't talk about this before.
Yeah.
Stu, played by J.K. Simmons.
Oh, phenomenal.
Just iconic.
Best
like,
actor
love
in
J.K.
this
Simmons.
movie. Yeah.
He is, and it's bizarre that he's in it.
Yes.
But I
He's
do
kind of a
appreciate
minor
it.
character.
Yeah, I really
Yeah,
appreciated him
yeah.
coming out here to do this, but I don't
Yeah.
understand why he did.
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
Makes absolutely no sense.
Love
He probably
him.
regrets it now. But you know what?
Love him.
It's too late. Yeah.
So good. So they go out and they're going crow hunting, and she's wearing this.
Onesie?
Carhartt onesie. Yeah.
She goes to go pee. She's like, "I can't
Yeah.
pee in the outdoors." He has to try and she can't get the zipper down. He has to knife
Yeah.
the Carhartt off of her.
That's insane.
This again, a lot of these scenes just aren't necessary. Like,
Yeah.
why? Nothing's adding to
Yeah.
anything. And that's why I struggled making the synopsis, because I was like, nothing really happened here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Agreed.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know. That whole thing happens, and they have a little banter of he basically is like, "I see your thong." Like, it's not cute.
That's right.
So then she
Uh.
leans down to go pee and accidentally shoots him with a shotgun. When
In
I
the
say
Honestly,
it,
right?
when I say it,
I
it's
kind of love
insane.
that.
It's insane,
I kind of-
though.
It was so weird and, again, unnecessary.
Yeah.
But I liked that it was absolutely belligerent.
Yeah.
Like, so chaotic.
Like, what is
for no reason.
happening?
Yeah.
He gets shot.
I do love a good chaos scene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do too. And so he has to get all those pebbles taken out of his butt. Uh, then we of course have to have the downfall. Blanche finds the file saying
course.
we're firing everyone. We're shutting this place down, basically. So she's pissed, but she's still so nice to Lucy, which is again why I'm like this annoyed. Like no one is this nice. Like you
Yeah.
just found out that she like tried to be your friend.
Midwesterners are this nice.
Oh, I don't get it.
Midwesterners are on another level.
Well, I guess I
I'm
should get
telling
out
you.
there one day.
Why we don't live in the Midwest?
You
I
wouldn't
guess.
you wouldn't last
I
out there,
wouldn't last
Tara.
a day.
No, you wouldn't.
You wouldn't last a
No, you
day out
wouldn't.
there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so now Blanche confronts her, right? And she's like, I told Ted. After they were just connecting over the butt shot. She's like, I told Ted that you're going to fire everyone. So, of course, everyone hates her. And so she runs up to Ted, right? She's driving and Ted's walking, or I forget what happens. And all that said, I have the quote because I was like, this is so weird. And she's like, Ted, I have to talk to you. I have to talk to you. He's like, is it true? And then she like doesn't say anything. And then he goes, then we ain't got nothing to say. and that was it. And that's their fight. That's their big thing. Like I was just like, again, not giving me anything. Like
No.
I can't work with this.
No substance. Yeah.
So then Lucy's determined to save the plant. She loves the people in the small town. She doesn't like Miami anymore. So she's like, I know what we gotta do, Blanche. We gotta turn your tapioca recipe into a worldwide phenomenon.
Right.
So
we make the big
Oh my.
bucks.
she has a rousing speech, gathers everyone in the plant, and she's like, we have to join together and turn these machines into tapioca machines instead of butter machines or something.
Mhm.
I don't know.
So that you alter the machines and keep the workers or something like that. It was some business model where like now we don't have to lay anyone off.
Somehow everyone's saved. Stu comes in.
Yeah.
Stu's really rallies them. They're all gonna do it. We have a montage scene of them fixing the factory. We got a food fight. We have people swearing into the tapioca.
It's giving cowbells with Allie and AJ.
Yes.
Oh my god, yes. Wow.
We get a little scene of a
Absolutely,
little
yes.
boy asking his mom, "Can I buy the tapioca off the shelf?" Like,
That
it's
was
a
sweet.
hit.
And again, I was like, get me tapioca immediately.
I
Just
wish I was
need-
eating tapioca
I
during
I do
this.
like now that
Me too.
we're talking about it,
Yeah.
I want some tapioca.
Yeah.
100%. So we get the big guys come in, the big guns, the big kahunas from Miami flying. They're ready to shut everything down. And she's like, no, look what we can do. We saved the workers. We're booming business of tapioca. We can do anything. And they're like, you're promoted a vice president.
Yeah.
You did an incredible job. So then we have another montage, back-to-back montages, basically. She's flying home. Like, oh no, it's like montage on montage, right? Because then now scenes of them being together are also playing. It's
Yeah,
it's so
it was confusing.
crazy.
It was a lot going on.
It was a quick wrap
They're
up.
trying to remind
They
us
needed a quick
of
wrap up.
of their love, but all their love was like going hunting
Somehow
and making out on the
Breastfeeding
couch.
somehow
No.
so much time passed over this movie,
Yeah.
but nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Like
We're
Christmas,
we're
Valentine's
talking
Day,
a year
like
has
all these
passed.
holidays passed,
Yeah,
and
nothing
somehow we only
happened.
have like a couple of good.
Yeah.
They needed a montage of them falling in love to begin with, you know?
Yeah, so
I don't want to see these individual events. I want to see a montage of them
Yes.
throughout the seasons growing closer.
100%.
Agreed.
They really don't make each other grow at all. They really don't help each other out. They basically just hate each other and then actually have lust for each other and make out, and then they're like, we want to make out some more.
The only thing that they have in common is their shared, like, I don't know, love of the factory.
Yes, they love
And that
butter.
just doesn't.
They love
that
tapioca.
just doesn't. Yeah, that just doesn't feel like
It doesn't
enough
work.
to sustain a relationship.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
So
what are they watching on movie night?
nothing.
They don't have the same
question.
taste.
They're not.
They're just making out.
They're just making out. So
I mean, fair enough.
what happens again? Now the plant's being sold. We got another. It's like back-to-back issue. Like, this is so
Hit after
stupid.
hit.
Yeah.
I can't take a break.
They are booming tapioca factory, and now they're so good that now that they want to sell the business. So everyone's going to be laid off. Again. So she comes in, you hear her stilettos. Click, 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 click. The stilettos in the marble lobby make.
In the marble lobby.
Right. Double Rich product. Best movie ever. Anyway, so she comes in, she puts her little soapbox down, and she's like, I know what to do, people. We can save this again. And then here comes Ted. This is just like the worst ending ever. She does her speech. Everyone loves her. Then Ted comes around and he's like, are you ready to deal with the union on this? And that's his like way of coming in after all this and like flirting and like getting back together. And they just make out and everyone's cheering for them making out.
Yeah.
It's the most bizarre thing.
It just doesn't feel like sentimental at all.
No, not at all.
Again, it's like the only thing that anybody cares about is a tapioca factory.
Yeah, that's all I hear. That is the main romance in this. Is the tapioca. Yeah. I have more romance feelings for this factory. The tapioca. 100%. Yeah. So the only good thing is that the ending is that Blanche gets a $250,000 check and then she passes out. The movie ends.
That was the best scene in the whole movie, I have to say.
Good for Blanche. She deserves it.
Blanche got Blanche got her bag in the end.
Yeah. She absolutely deserves it. Absolutely. So that's basically it, people. That wraps up that one. Sorry for the downer review of this. But it's time to talk numbers. Let's go in with tropes. Pride and Prejudice. Now, Pride and Prejudice. Opposites attract. Right? Mm-hmm. Enemies to lovers.
I mean, we've got misunderstanding, enemies to lovers, rich, poor. We've got unrequited love. We got a grand romantic gesture.
That's true.
Yeah.
We've got a ball scene, a slow dance. We've got a profession of love in the rain.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Is this gonna be high? How high is this gonna be? Emma, what's your starting number?
I mean, I don't know.
I feel like for P&P, because it is definitely tropey, but I feel like because it's Jane Austen,
this is the original.
She invented the trope.
This might be the most authentic of any
trope.
Yeah,
I agree. So like,
which makes it tricky.
They're well executed tropes.
Yeah, I feel like I want to give it like a 7, but like with a little asterisk.
Ashley
that's
is
like
disgusted.
I mean, I was gonna say an 8 or a 9.
Is
that too crazy?
I was gonna say 8. I was gonna say 8.
I like my point in not making it higher is because I feel like a movie that's extremely tropey is automatically like not as good. And I feel like Pride and Prejudice, it's tropey, but it's not like in your face. You know, they do it in such a slick way that it's just sort of like part of the movie and not cheesy at all.
She's got a fair point.
Well, I don't think...
But you know what? That plays into quality.
That
plays into quality.
Yeah, quality is the quality of them. We have a quality category for a reason.
That's true.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Let's do an 8 then.
I'm comfortable with an 8. I would be comfortable with a 7.5 to an 8.5, basically, in that range. So why don't we just do 8?
So why don't we do 8?
Okay.
Yeah.
Tropes for New in Town. Tropes. I mean, enemies to lovers, I guess, but I wouldn't even
big
define
city
it
girl,
as
small town boy.
Yeah.
Makeover scene.
Makeover.
Montage.
Yeah.
Silly little stupid like injury scene.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, this has plenty of tropes too. They might even have equal amounts of tropes, but they're not executed well.
They're not well. Yeah, they're not well done. Yeah.
So I might even say like this has to be maybe 7.5. Just like there is a similar level, but it's not as good.
Say 7.
7.
I was gonna say 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why by me? I was being generous. Okay. Quality for Pride and Prejudice. I mean 10. Sorry.
10.
10 out of 10. Yeah.
No arguments. 10.
10 out of 10. Easy.
Quality for New in Town. I mean, this is a 5.
5. I was also gonna say 5.
5.
Yeah.
Easy.
5.
It's not
Comfortable
horrible.
5.
The cast
Listen,
is decent,
I have
but
watched
it's not a good movie.
Emma's first time watching this. I have in fact seen this before. One time when I was sick, I threw it on. Like, it is like if you're in a state of delusion and you're just throwing something on, I will, but I'm not throwing this on like I throw on 27 Dresses. I'm not throwing this on like I throw on other stuff. So 5 is fair.
I just wish it was better than it was. I really do.
Me too.
It had
a lot of potential
going for it, and they dropped
potential.
the ball. They have a
dropped the
phenomenal cast. They have a phenomenal
Mhm.
plot. Nothing was executed well. Anyway.
Yep.
Lightheartedness, Pride and Prejudice. I mean, this isn't really lighthearted, guys. I mean, this is
It's
dealing with
not.
some stuff. The vibes and the feelings and the music that I get are so lighthearted, and I'm giddy the whole time, and I feel amazing. But it's not quite lighthearted.
Yeah, I'm a little torn
You're
because
dealing
I
with
do
the
like
idea that
my
they're not gonna have any money if they don't get married off, right? You have that looming in the
yeah,
background. You
but
have,
my spirit is just lifted every time I watch
I
this
know, and
movie.
that's why I feel
You
like we're gonna be
know?
biased with this category because it makes me feel so
Yeah.
incredible, but it's not very lighthearted.
Yeah, it's definitely not lighthearted compared to other movies in this.
But we have
We
genre.
just can't. We
Even
can't.
when we've also had some with bigger stakes than this, like we've had some with deaths, we've had some
Yeah.
with
I just think.
you know,
I don't think it.
cheating, we've had some with some more serious problems.
I just don't think it could be a 9 or a 10 because I just think that there was
No, not a 9 or
Agreed.
10. I would say a 7.
I would say 7.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think 7.5.
7.5.
Okay,
Okay.
why am I me?
I mean, like I would push it to an 8 if you prompted me,
Yeah.
but we can do 7.5.
Okay, we'll stick with it. New in town, lightheartedness. I mean, this is so light. Literally nothing
happens,
freaking
so,
happens. You
yeah.
feel absolutely nothing watching. So I feel like this has to be
But
a
I feel
9.
like-
I don't
Yeah,
want to
very
give it a
high.
high score, but this is literally the stakes.
I mean, the
couldn't
factory
be
was
lower.
at stakes. The factory was at stake.
Which is okay, fine. 8.
Everyone's
But-
livelihood
Fine,
was at
8,
stake.
8.5.
8. Okay.
8.
Either one is fine. 8 or 8.5 is
Fine.
fine with me.
Okay.
Comedy. Pride and Prejudice. This is funny. This
It's
is
funny, but
Also,
9.
New in Town, I did not laugh at
Didn't laugh once.
all.
no.
Mouth
Agreed.
did not even crack into a smile.
I can see that they really tried to be funny with like the whole her shooting him in the
I'll give it a
butt
6.
and like these little, they tried a lot of like physical comedy, I felt like.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
But it
not
didn't really
funny.
have a great payoff.
It didn't. Yeah, it didn't land.
I'm going 6.
What did you say,
for
a
New
6?
In Town.
I'm good with 6.
Yeah, same.
Okay. Pride and
But
Prejudice.
Pride and Prejudice. I mean, is 9 too
It's-
generous?
I don't think so.
It's funny, but like, am I crying laughing?
Okay,
No.
again, we
Like,
always compare it to
right.
She's the
'Cause she's-
Man. Yeah.
She's the man. I'm
Mm.
cracking up. Always
Yeah.
being maybe I'm laughing out loud the
Fine.
entire time. So I do think we should, like, we do have some really funny movies in this bracket.
That's true. Trainwreck, hilarious. That's true.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
true.
those movies, you were literally crying laughing on the plane when you watched
I was
it.
crying laughing.
Yeah.
I was.
So I think we need to temper it a little bit. Maybe a 7? Is that too low?
I was gonna say 8. Maybe a
I have, like,
7.5.
8? Okay.
7.5 to meet in the
Because
center.
it's good quality jokes, yeah. And it's like, it's the kind of jokes where every time it's funny.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
laugh every time.
And it's
You
like
know,
really smart humor, which I feel like
You're right.
Yeah.
8.
again it's so different. Like it's so
Yeah,
hard to
I think you're
compare
right. Yeah.
to other like
An 8.
You're
movies.
so right. All right.
It's relatable humor. It's
Yeah.
Now this category is gonna be a joke. Romance. Pride and Prejudice.
Oh.
10.
10.
New in Town.
10.
0.
10.
0. Honestly, yeah,
New in
0.
town. 5.
Not
We've
an
never
ounce of
given a 0.
Yeah, we never give it a
I
0.
feel
I'd
like
say
at Romance or
5.
New in Town, I literally felt nothing. There was no connection between them. They did not grow at all.
There really wasn't.
Nothing happened.
Didn't have good chemistry. But I do love a scene where someone gets rescued from a snow.
Okay. You love a scene. Like, this happens in every movie. I've never seen this before. Listen,
When someone
Can I
gets
just
rescued, I
say,
love a rescue scene.
the romance for the wedding date. You made me put it as a 6.5. It was definitely higher. They at least like grew together, and you saw romance between them. I'm just saying
Okay, then
you said like
so
that
we
was
should
a
put this
movie
lower.
that like you didn't feel the romance, and you felt like they had no connection.
You're right.
And that's a 6.5.
I should put this lower.
So I think
this should be lower.
I
then.
think this is
A
romance
3?
is like a 3 or a 4. Like this.
I feel like 3.
3 it is.
3.
Yeah.
You're right. You're totally right.
Thank you. Okay.
I always feel bad for going below a 5 though.
I know, but sometimes it has.
Somebody's
got
to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drum roll. As if you didn't already know. New in Town 29. Pride and Prejudice 43.5. Shocking news.
Wow.
Let's wrap this sucker up. Don't forget to check out the bracket on our website. The link is in the description. We'll also be posting the final scores.
Send us your thoughts on this week's episode at thetropereport@gmail.com.
Or check out our Instagram and Twitter at The Trope Report, where we post quotes from each episode.
Next week will be Sweet Home Alabama versus While You Were Sleeping.
You won't want to miss that one. I just want to say thank you, Emma, for joining us today. It was so much fun, bringing me right back to childhood. Such good memory.
Thank you both so much for having me. Yay. This was honestly a delight.
Yay.
And I just feel privileged that I could
be here
for the...
God.
Listen, let me finish. Privileged that I could
Emma.
be here for the Pride and Prejudice episode specifically.
I wouldn't have anyone else. Thank you. Next week, we get another special guest, people, okay? You're lucky. And this time, Ash... What do we got?
It's my best friend.
Your first guest. I'm
My
so
first
excited.
guest.
I'm so excited.
Your friends are definitely more rom-com fanatics than my friends.
My friends, yeah, that's true. I mean, that's all we did. That's all we
all we
watch
did.
movies all the time. That's all we do.
It's our entire personality.
Yeah.
So. Unfortunately.
Yeah, Paris is coming into back Sweet Home Alabama,
She loves it.
so it'll be interesting.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Can't wait to listen.
It's gonna be a good one.
Alright, that's it for now.
Until next time.
Keep
Keep
it
it romantic.
romantic.